Hello everyone, I am Julian Morris with the Channel 5 News. In the headlines, ECLAC supports Dominica's vision of becoming the world's first climate-resilient nation. The DAPD could see work on the last component of a multipurpose development center this year. And the Caribbean bids farewell at the passing of Jamaica's 5th Prime Minister, Edward Seaga. The details coming up.
Here are some tips to reduce mosquito presence in and around your home. Keep water storage containers properly covered. Remove containers that can collect water from your surroundings. Keep garbage bins tightly covered. Pick up your litter and remove all tires from your yard. Keep gutters free of leaves and twigs to prevent stagnant water. Prevent Zika, dengue, and chikungunya. Fight the bite. This is a public service announcement from the Dominica Red Cross.
This message is supported by Flow. First up in the news, Minister for Family and Gender Affairs Catherine Daniel is calling on Dominicans to take the necessary preparatory steps ahead of the 2019 hurricane season. Here is Andrea Louis with a report.
Daniel singled out village councils in particular to play their role in ensuring the communities know their action plan during the season. She further implored councillors to safeguard the most vulnerable in society when a disaster is imminent.
As we approach the next hurricane season, I must take the opportunity to encourage the councils to move swiftly to make all necessary preparations for the upcoming hurricane season. This is the end of May. June is coming on. What plans have you made? You must ensure that your disaster committees are activated and reactivated, and that you meet with your people to provide them with the relevant information for their safety. I appeal to you to put in your plans the mechanisms to care for the most vulnerable and the elderly. Ensure that you have a list of these people, where they are, so in the event of a disaster hitting your area, that these people are taken care of.
Daniel urged the councillors and residents to identify safe areas in and around the community and be ready to move before the impact time of a natural disaster.
Be prepared to move early, as I said, those who require evacuation to a safe and secure location. Identify your safe locations. Identify safe houses where you can put your people and ensure. Don't wait till the alert is given that then you start scrambling and looking for the place. This all now, you should be very much assured of where your areas of rescue is.
The Family Affairs Minister also charged the citizens with the responsibility to be aware of the impact of rivers on communities during the hurricane season.
We are particularly concerned with communities prone to flash flooding and landslides. Government has committed resources and continues to engage heavy equipment to clean and dredge rivers and waterways to reduce the risk of potential flooding. But communities must work together to sustain these actions. As we clean, councils must take a greater role in monitoring the use of our rivers, the people who throw garbage in the rivers, the people who throw all their derelict fridges, washing machines, they just put it by the side of the rivers.
The 2019 hurricane season officially begins this Saturday, the 1st of June. Andrea Louis, Channel 5 News.
Director of ECLAC Sub-Regional Headquarters has thrown her organization's support towards Dominica's vision to becoming the world's first climate-resilient country. We go again to Andrea Louis for more.
Diane Quarles is on island for the Strategic Planning Week organized by the Ministry of Planning and Economic Development and supported by the Economic Commission for Latin America and the Caribbean, ECLAC. Quarles congratulated the people of Dominica for efforts to build the first climate-resilient nation in the world and commended the country on formulating a long-term strategy for resilient reconstruction and development.
Your Prime Minister describes the National Resilience Development Strategy, your vision for what this country can become in the next 12 years, as a resilience textbook, a guide to be used by all stakeholders, national and international, to support a framework for rebuilding a Dominica that is climate resilient and whose development is truly sustainable. I offer you today the unequivocal support of ECLAC in pursuit of that vision.
Quarles also applauded Dominica's move towards incorporating aspects of Agenda 2030 into its development plan. Agenda 2030 is a plan of action adopted by global leaders dedicated to the welfare of the world's peoples as a platform committed to ending poverty and ensuring all human beings can fulfill their potential. Agenda 2030 also focuses on sustainably managing the resources of the planet and taking urgent action against climate change.
Your National Resilience Development Strategy espouses these same noble overarching objectives. This speaks directly to Dominica's identification with and commitment to the global development framework defined in Agenda 2030. Permit me a little time to situate your national development effort firmly within the framework of the Global Development Initiative, that is Agenda 2030. For we at ECLAC consider pursuit of Agenda 2030 an unprecedented opportunity for countries to put in place a development strategy that is truly comprehensive, integrative, and dynamic.
The week-long seminar is being held under the theme Implementing the Global, National and Sectoral Development Goals.
The last component of a multi-purpose development center for Dominica's physically challenged community is on the cards for this year. Natalie Murphy, Executive Director of the Dominica Association of Persons with Disabilities, DAPD, says a multi-purpose development center has been on the association's agenda for some years now, and things look promising for the completion of that project in 2019.
Early in our formation, our plan was to establish a multi-purpose development center where we would have our own office, where we would have a dormitory, where we would have a training unit, where we would have our auditorium. And come 2019, by the end of 2019, we envisage that this multi-purpose development center, which has been built in stages and phases, will become a reality. The last components will become a reality, and the last component is the auditorium.
Murphy says funding for this project has been secured, and it's just a matter of selecting professionals to bring the vision to life.
We have secured funding from the Basic Needs Trust Fund, Caribbean Development Bank, for that last phase, and we are just waiting on the BNTF to make a selection of engineers and architects who will, come up with some designs. But the fund, it has been approved. We have been engaging the BNTF, or they have been engaging us. We have formulated a needs assessment. We had a workshop with our members, where members were asked to make an input in what they would like, what sort of auditorium, what sort of facility that they would like to see, and all that was done.
Murphy says this facility, which is to be constructed on the upper floor of the DAPD's office in Goodwill, will be in keeping with the climate-resilient building codes of the country.
The facility is going to be disability friendly, not only disability friendly, but also climate resilient. Provisions have been made for the solar panels, provisions have been made to have the water tank, all the things that one would need in times of disaster. So we are very excited about that.
Dominica's young people of voting age will undoubtedly play a key role in the upcoming general election. UPP candidate for VECAS Clement Marsley has reached out to young voters, explaining his party's vision for them should the party win the 2020 general election. Marsley, a young person himself, spoke of the importance of mentorship in preparing the youth for active participation in the country's economic development.
I believe in exposing youngsters to leadership leadership and training skills, programs to boost their self-esteem, help them identify the strengths and weaknesses, and to build an experience and to develop entrepreneurial fortitude, to build smart, small businesses, and we use smart, to grow industries and to contribute to the productive sector of our economy. The future is ours, and we should determine what our futures look like. And we should ensure it looks the best for ourselves and our children. And that's our vision.
Maslin pledged never to compromise democratic principles and to hold his party to those standards.
Edward Oliver Leblanc, my blood relative and my political mentor, laid the foundation on which to build a true and vibrant democracy. We shall not, and we should not, and we will not undermine or circumvent these basic principles. I will challenge our team that these values and tenets remain our moral compass in all our policies and all our programs.
You're watching Channel 5 News. We'll have more after this.
I've worked in the service industry for 9 years, and I love it because of the people I get to meet every day. And that's one of the reasons I went back to college, to be better able to serve the tourists when they come to our destination and to be able to learn more about Dominica. I love learning more about Dominica because the more I learn, the more I can share. And I just want to share Dominica with everyone. I'm from Munjan, which is in the southeast of Dominica, and have lived overseas for 24 years. Living overseas has made me appreciate Dominica and all it has to offer, like taking a walk in the forest, going to the botanical garden, or even drinking fresh Sus water. I never thought I could miss green so much. Even as a student, I'm still directly linked to the tourism industry, from something as simple as giving directions to tourists, or even more involved like an internship at a hotel, or a cleanup campaign with the HTA. As a tourism student, I have made the decision to take my place in this tourism industry. My name is Lucina Nicholas, and tourism is my business.
If you're HIV positive or have an STI, having unprotected sex with multiple partners puts them in grave danger. You'll expose every partner and their present and future partners to HIV or another STI. Use a condom every time you have sex. You can live a productive life even if diagnosed with HIV. Remember, early detection is key to your survival. Be responsible, protect yourself and others. Help stop the spread of HIV and other STIs.
One trade union has expressed concern over what future May Day activities could look like in terms of attendance by union members. Attendance at the annual ceremony organized by the Waterfront and Allied Workers Union earlier this month, which did not get much press, was pretty low-keyed. The Waterfront and Allied Workers Union collaborated with the Dominica Amalgamated Workers Union to organize the event, which failed to draw the expected attendance. One union official says the dwindling attendance from year to year could be attributed to competing attractions on that day. But he says if things continue along that path, the unions could lose the observance.
May Day is being surrounded, if you want, overwhelmed, for a better word, by other activities. One might argue it's preventing our members from participating fully in May Day celebration. But this is a constant challenge, and for the past 15 years, I've always held that view that I have a concern shared by Curtis, that someday, somehow, a brave or stupid administration will take that holiday away from us. I don't know which one is a brave one or a stupid one. But it is something that concerns me and something that should concern everybody in terms of our observance of this day. It is becoming a day not set aside for workers to reflect, but for workers to partake in all the secular and social, even liming activities. This, I'm afraid, will seriously jeopardize our union and, I just say, other unions.
Mr. Roll says it might be time to go back to the drawing board in terms of reorganizing activities planned for May Day celebrations. General Secretary of the Dominica Amalgamated Workers Union said members invited to May Day celebrations by her union opted for the beach instead.
So perhaps we need to have a beach day for May Day in the future. Then we could have all of the members there on the beach. We could have our addresses or May Day addresses on the beach instead of an enclosed room with 4 walls and speaking to a few senior citizens.
The union seems to be challenged by low attendance as it bade farewell to one of its former organizers, Alec Gage, who passed away earlier this month.
We began working, that is Alec and myself, in the year 1970. He was responsible for the expansion of the base of the union through organizing members in the 1980s. The union expanded during that time.
In order for that level of expansion to continue, Secretary Treasurer Curtis Augustus believes the union will have to explore ways of stimulating higher participation rates in its activities to secure and mobilize the input of workers in all functions and activities. And a founding member of the Midnight Groovers band says a decision to launch a new band called Groovers International is not an indication of any difficulties with Chubby, the lead vocalist for Midnight Groovers. Marcel Coe-Marc says his goal is to promote his music, which he believes is getting lost in the shuffle. He is concerned that during Creole Festival gigs, only Midnight Groovers songs can be accommodated. He would like to receive recognition beyond the usual plaque.
Many of our good musicians in Dominica, they haven't got no recognition. Like they do recognize. What I'm saying is that we need to recognize our musicians.
You have any suggestions on how they could recognize them? What are you suggesting? You might have some ideas.
Well, the ideas I have is that. Like just take it on the festival, the Creole Festival. Now the foreign groups came here. They give them a lot of money, and our musicians down here will get not even half of that money. You know. So what I'm saying is that we need to recognize our musicians.
Mark says many do not appreciate the caliber of musicians that Dominica has produced.
We are not what they say that they call us like low. When you call local, we are not low, we are high. Because Dominica have musicians that is even greater than some musicians overseas. I know that. So our people have to recognize our musicians. Recognize them, and like when you give a musician an award that yeah, you give them an award, but at least give them a little check with the award so that they can evaluate themselves. You know what I'm saying? But I mean, what I find down here, like when they give you an award, they said that they recognize you. What I do find that is all.
But what I'm hearing from you is that the type of recognition that you're not saying you're against a trophy or an award or a plaque or something, but do you think monetary reward is one of the best things that can be done?
Yeah, but what I'm saying is, remember the system is money. You know, the system is a system of money. So, I mean, if you are a recognized musician, either give you a plaque or an award. You need something like they give you a check that can elevate you more, give you a more, you know, to push you a little further.
While Groovers International's focus will be Kadas music, the band is also expected to play reggae and soca. Original bass player for Midnight Groovers, Victor Mitchell, is partnering with Marcel Mark in setting up Groovers International. He selected the lead singer and other band members.
Normally when I select musician, I'm not boasting, but when I select musician to play on a side, I don't go looking for crap guys. I go for guys who know they can play music. They can play music, enjoy the music and enjoy what they are doing. But people who are coming just because they want to maybe see themselves exposed to the public or to get money. You understand? Most of the radio stations play the music, but you want to see it played live. And Ko to me, Ko is so much of a good musician, and people not seeing him out there. I mean, we are not going to say, I don't want to talk about any insides in the Midnight Groovers, because, you know, sometimes you say something good, people still would get offended. They will get offended. So I'd rather don't speak about anything in the inside, but I speak about what is happening now and what we are doing now. He asked me, let's put a band together, and I tell him no problem, because I could get musicians. You understand? We are young guys there, they can play music. We put it together, and this band is a wonderful band.
Mitchell says he's a hard taskmaster, but he means well.
What makes me be a solid person in whatever I'm doing, I run my own business. I do auto mechanic engineering and auto spraying and auto painting, or should I say it so that people can understand, air conditioning. I do all those things. I run my own business. I have workers working for me. And when you get to the shop, you haven't got to be easy on them. You have to be tough. Because you're not tough, then they're going to be doing crap for you. Are they ready for crap?
Like Marcel Mark, Mitchell says there is no controversy over the move to form the new band Groovers International.
No, there's no conflict in the band. If there's any conflict, there are certain members in the band that want to make conflicts, but Chubby is okay with that. Chubby is okay. The important thing is that Chubby supports us in what we're doing. The others are not Midnight Groovers, they are just hired musicians. So if you are hiring somebody to do your work for you, they are not the one to tell you what to do with your works, your product, you know what I'm saying? I recorded that band. Chubby, Ko and I, we recorded together. We did several albums together. And I know for a fact that if I have to sing a few songs of the Groovers, they're not supposed to have a problem, or Chubby is supposed to have a problem with that. You know what I'm saying? I did the videos, I do everything. Everybody know me, recognize me as Midnight Groovers part of, should I say. You know what I'm saying? Attachment, whatever. If they want to put me as original bass player, I can do it. They can put it as well, because I played for 20-something years. And all the musicians in the band, I am the one that bring them in.
And Jamaica's 5th Prime Minister Edward Seaga has passed following a period of illness. Prime Minister Andrew Holness said in a Facebook post that it was with great sadness that he was informing the nation of the passing of the Most Honorable Edward Philip George Seaga. The late Prime Minister died at 1 p.m. Jamaica time. Mr. Seaga was receiving treatment in the United States and had his family with him. He would have celebrated his 89th birthday on Tuesday. Prime Minister Holness says Mr. Seaga was his political father, a great mentor, friend and guide, imparting the skills of strategic leadership in building a nation. Arrangements are being made to return Mr. Seaga's body back to Jamaica at the earliest.
Here are some tips to reduce mosquito presence in and around your home. Keep water storage containers properly covered. Remove containers that can collect water from your surroundings. Keep garbage bins tightly covered. Pick up your litter and remove all tires from your yard. Keep gutters free of leaves and twigs to prevent stagnant water. Prevent Zika, dengue, and chikungunya. Fight the bite. This is a public service announcement from the Dominica Red Cross.
This message is supported by Flow. To end the news, a look again at the headlines. ECLAC supports Dominica's vision of becoming the world's first climate-resilient nation. The DAPD could see work on the last component of a multipurpose development center this year. And the Caribbean bids farewell at the passing of Jamaica's 5th Prime Minister, Edward Seaga. Feel free to contact us at news@mapping2k4.com. You may access our past newscasts on our YouTube channel. On behalf of the production team, I am Julian Morris. Thank you for watching. Join us tomorrow.